Hello and welcome to Sims Equestria. Today we're having a very special look at the source of the inspiration for my videos, and that is in one AbominableSteve. AbominableSteve is a most excellent Let's Player who does Let's Plays of classic Nintendo games. He has a very enjoyable style to him, and one of the things that he did a Let's Play of, originally for the sake of answering questions, but later decided to just straight up play the game, was The Sims 2, an old favorite of mine. I watched him as he took all of the expansion packs, including ones I don't have, and he played The Sims 2, and he created Let's Player Land, a Sims world dedicated to his favorite Let's Players. This inspired me to create my own world, the Brony Land, or Sims Equestria, as it is now known. It's a world dedicated to the characters of My Little Pony, my fan fictions, and my favorite Brony reviewers. To honor AbominableSteve, I have placed him and his Let's Player friends in a small corner of Sims Equestria. Now, Let's Player Land is the Rhode Island of the United States that is Equestria. It has all of the people that AbominableSteve created, with all of the same statistics, likes and dislikes that AbominableSteve gave these characters, but with my own personal twist and creativity, I have used the awesome power of creator content, hacks, downloads, and modifications to bring you the new and improved Let's Play Land. Now let's take a look at my creativity as it unfolds in the world originated by AbominableSteve, as it would look if I had been the one creating it instead of him. We start ourselves outside of AbominableSteve's house. It is a well-known fact that his real-life dwelling is guarded by the brave and noble Zora. For what Let's Player doesn't have such noble creatures guarding his house? Let's zoom in and take a look at Steve in his natural environment. Here we see AbominableSteve with his cat, ignoring it as one does. Here we see Steve's cat, sitting in the window. Mimosa sways his tail quietly back and forth. AbominableSteve nowhere to be found. Oh, here he comes now, into the picture. Looks like he wants to read a book. It's a well-known fact that AbominableSteve was once the Abominable Snowman, but after retiring from snowmanhood due to global warming, he decided to become Steve. You can see there on the wall behind him his famous poster and the doctorate that he got for being a skilled Let's Player. Let's watch him read. He's still reading. Still reading a book. learning how to not burn his house down. Now we are outside his house once again, zooming in as Mimosa continues to sit in the window, watching the day go by. Watching the butterflies as his owner continues to bury his head in a book, neglecting his cat. Of course, as do we all, Steve owns a giant crab that is also a television. And what home would not be complete without its very own companion cube? Uh-oh, it looks like some guests have arrived to greet Steve. Let's go out and greet the guests. Hello, Steelwing. Nice to meet you. And nice to meet you as well, Zatora. And furthermore, it is a pleasure to meet you as well, Melodrama. Please come inside my house. Shaking your hand was enough to invite you to come in. Because we all need friends. A fine sense of humor by AbominableSteve, as always. And what a lovely garden he has. We all enjoy the delightful slime-covered lawn gnomes. What's this? Someone has taken an interest in the lawn gnome. Oh no, Steelwing, you've stolen the lawn gnome. This cannot stand. You cannot just walk away with that lawn gnome. You will regret this decision. There's AbominableSteve's camera in the background, the one that he uses to record Let's Plays. And now Steelwing is hearing an argument for stealing the lawn gnome, but he doesn't seem to want to give it back. We all know, of course, that in AbominableSteve's backyard is a replica of the Mushroom Kingdom. But this is, of course, common knowledge. The fight continues over the lawn gnome. Nobody likes having a lawn gnome stolen, especially not AbominableSteve, but Steelwing refuses to give it back. I never thought you were that kind of pony. However, not to let such a thing go, AbominableSteve plans his revenge against the gnome stealer. Now we see as Steve has lunch with Zatora and that no-good gnome-stealing fool Steelwing as they sit down to a nice breakfast of muffins. Tasty, tasty muffins. Food truly of the gods. In his free time, AbominableSteve likes to enjoy tossing knives at Koopa Troopas. That is to say, when he's not beating up his life-sized mannequin of a random bum in a trench coat. It's a way for one to healthily deal with stress. Then we head into the bedroom. Time for Steve to get his rest. So he crawls into his health-monitored Zelda bed beside his Donkey Kong poster and takes a nice, well-deserved rest. In the meantime, we check in on Mimosa and his delightful, adorable antics. Isn't this just the most amusing and riveting of television? And as we come upon the night, we find our lone gnome once again stolen. And the Mimosa does absolutely nothing to stop the crime. We are now in hour 41 of Mimosa Watch. Riveting. And it's morning for Abominable Steve as he goes about his routine reading the newspaper. His first step is to hit the funny pages, enjoying a good laugh at Foxtrot, Lilo, Heart in the City, and, of course, Phoebe and her unicorn. What day could not start without reading Phoebe and her unicorn? Then we take a brief break to enjoy playing the piano, the musical instrument that Steve is most skilled at. He's been playing the piano since he was only 5 years old, where he performed in front of a vast audience on stage a Beethoven symphony when he was only 9 years old. To this day, he continues to play piano. Such skill, such amazing skill. Now it is time to record the Let's Plays. With the camera set up, Steve goes over to his laptop and begins to record yet another episode, perhaps of Metroid, or maybe Super Mario, perhaps Zelda. No one knows until it's uploaded. No one, except Steve. With his idol Patrick Stewart looking down upon him, he plays his games and does his commentary. Hilarious, as always. Then he takes time out at the end of his recording session to play with Mimosa, playing their favorite game, Bite My Finger. A game enjoyed more by the cat than by Steve.